This is a spreadsheet to help you record your daily expenditure as part of an overall money budget plan. The idea is to get you to look at what you think you are spending your money on as opposed to what you are actually spending. I'll take you through the spreadsheet tabs and then I'll enter some information to show you how it all comes together. This first tab is the planned expenditure tab, and it's where you put in what you think you will be spending over the course of a 4 or 5 week period. The items in this first column you can put in yourself. This is just an idea of what you might spend your money on. And the idea here is to capture your daily expenditure as opposed to your monthly payments for such things as rent, mortgage, council tax or utility payments. In most cases they will be made by some form of direct debit or standing order from a bank account. They are therefore a lot more easily identifiable. So what we're trying to do here then is just capture all those things that you spend money as you go through the course of the month on a day-by-day basis. I've broken the month down into 4 or 5 weeks. So for instance, we're in June 2008. Putting the box up here, and then I can put in the week commencing. I normally start on a Monday, so I know it's the 2nd of the 6th, 9th of the 6th, 16th of the 6th, 23rd of the 6th, and I'm also going to put in the 30th of the 6th. It could be that if you were using this in July, you would have this as the start week of your month. That's entirely up to you how you want to play that. If we flip over to the actual worksheet, click on here, you can see we get what looks like the same worksheet, but you can see here that all the items and the dates have all been copied across from the original planned worksheet, and the same on the difference worksheet. Again, you've got the items and the date and the week commencing. So if we flip over back to the planned worksheet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just put some example expenditure in. So the first week, maybe the budget you worked out is for food and drink and housekeeping, the weekly shop, so that's £90. Perhaps you go to work by bus, let's say that's £16. And let's also say that you have also access to a car where you think the amount of petrol for the first week is going to be £15. So now if we come over to the actual sheet, you end up coming back to this and saying what you actually spent. So let's say for instance that your weekly shop came to £85 and your travel and fares came to 16 and your petrol came to 20. So now we've input the planned expenditure and the actual expenditure, and we click on the difference tab. We can now see where items have come in under budget. You get a green square, and that shows you that you're underspent and by the amount. So in this case, food and drink, £5 under budget. Petrol, it's a red minus, so that means that you were £5 over budget. Our travel and fares was the same, 16 planned and 16 actual. So there's nothing shows up in these boxes here. But again, you can see what your plans, your actual expenditure was going to be. I've now opened up a second spreadsheet, and in this, just an example of how this gets used. So this first spreadsheet here, or worksheet, is looking at planned expenditure for the month. And if I come over to the second tab, you can see that as money has been spent, all these squares have been filled in. And then we get to this last tab, difference. You can see quite visually where money has been underspent, i.e. inside the budget, and overspent. And one thing I've got here is car costs, and you see there's a minus 150 there. So if we go back to the planned tab, you see car costs, there was nothing in there. But if you go to the actual, you'll see in the second week there was £150 that was paid out. And that's because in life things crop up when we least expect them. And this happened to a friend of mine where the ignition went on their car and they ended up with an unexpected bill of 150 quid. So you come to the difference and you can see there's 150, which quite affects the budget for the month. The thing is, here you can look at the reds and say to yourself, well, petrol, that's unfortunate. Petrol is on the increase. You may have to revise your budget at the start of the month, but it might be things like alcohol. That's £19 over budget. So that would indicate this is possibly an area where you might want to start looking at making some savings. And the same with clothes and shoes. Maybe it would be a case of not spending so much, or planning to spend on clothes and shoes at a later date, or whatever. And over here you can see this adds up all the planned expenditure, and this shows the actual expenditure, and you can see that you plan to spend £704 and your actual expenditure was £898. The difference comes up to here is £193.5. Now of course you've got some car costs of £150, but again, even if you took that out, you'd be £43 overspent. And what this is saying down here is that as part of your regular budgeting process, you may want to put aside some money each month to cover for car costs. Anyway, that's the spreadsheet, and I hope that you'll find it useful. Thank you very much.